Hey crew, what's up? It's Dr. Jared here again at Health and Performance Center in CrossFit Level. We're going to talk about the KIP. If you don't like the KIP and you hate it, then we'll call it the Global Extension Movement. Regardless, we're going to look at this, and there's so much talked about how and why it's such a critical capability to develop as a human being. And we're going to try and go through a lot of those things, but we're going to compartmentalize it per body segment. So there's going to be a lot of series on this of really teaching you the ins and outs of how to get into a good KIP position or global extension and why each phase of it or each part of your body is very important. Now we're going to talk at the bottom, we're going to talk about the feet. And if you look at this, you can see that my feet are together. Why is that important? Well, a lot of people think it's for, stability and keeping everything proximal and tight. And yeah, that is a very, very important thing. But what a lot of people don't realize is that when the hip goes into extension, like when we're running or when we're walking, it loves internal rotation. That means that my feet have to be together, and particularly my toes have to be together so that I can fully open up my hip. If I can fully open up my hip or the front part kind of by my pant pocket, then I'm not going to hyperextend my back. On the contrary, if I do have my feet splayed apart and definitely flared out to the side, I know for sure that every time I go into this position that I'm showing with these nice green lines that shows global extension, I know instead of that I'm check marking at my low back or going into segmental hyperextension, which leads to inflammation, which leads to a lot of tension and tightness. And if you bottom out in your squat or a deadlift, that can lead to a disc herniation. So something as simple as keeping your feet together is going to help protect you against low back issues, amongst other things, but it's also going to make you more efficient at running and walking. And if you go to the mall and watch people walk and you know what you're supposed to see, there's about 1 out of 100 people who walks well. So getting better at this KIP, and even if you're just doing hollow rocks, focusing on keeping those feet together so that you can open up through the front part of the hip and protect the back and keep your entire lower extremity in a line, it's pretty darn important. Now, I've just spent 2 minutes talking about just keeping the feet together. We're going to go through the knees, all the way through the hips, the low back, the thoracic spine, the scapula, the shoulder, all the way up into the elbow and the wrist with this. So there's going to be a lot of things. But right at the beginning, we're going to talk about these feet and really come up from there. Because if we lose it from the bottom up or the top down, everything else is going to be negatively affected. So next time you hop up on that barbell, pay attention where your feet are going and make sure you're trying to keep them as close together. Number one, for that stability throughout the whole system, being proximal, but also getting hip extension with internal rotation, which is what our body needs to stay braced, neutral, strong, and stable. Good luck.